We all join games for our own purposes. Some for escapism, others for power fantasies, and some to explore their own personal feelings. In these experiences, we share bits of ourselves, and that means vulnerability and kindness at our tables. But I think that's some soft nonsense as a game master. In fact, as a game master, I think you should do the exact opposite. I think more game masters should be assholes or jerks to their players instead of serving our players with soft and silly platitudes, kindness, and sincerity. And in fact, in today's video, I'll be talking about that very topic. Why I think GMs should not be taking crap from anyone. So today, I'll be discussing why you as a GM should be a bit more mean to your players. GMing is a lot of work. For some of us, that means preparing a large number of items, events, NPCs for the game itself. And that doesn't even include the administrative tasks of the game, such as scheduling, taking notes, bringing food in or snacks, studying the materials needed for your game session, reviewing your notes. This is all a labor of love. But this stuff takes a lot of damn work and time. So, GMs, first off, forgo all those responsibilities. Put it on your players instead. Don't ask them, just tell them. The first idea I think an asshole GM needs to learn is that players should not just need to show up. If you as a game master can't just show up, why do the players get to do the same? Don't accept their excuses either if they don't want to bring anything to the table. If you're going to run the game, then you as a GM should run the game and have them figure out the rest of the work. And while it might sound cold and harsh, I'll agree it is, it's not your problem, it's theirs. And secondly, as a game master, you don't owe your players anything, as much as the players don't owe you anything. So put the responsibilities on them. Let them figure out what snacks to bring. Let them figure out the scheduling. And you just show up with your notes. Here's an example I have actually. If a player cannot make it to a game night, let them know how you feel about it. Regardless of the excuse they give, it doesn't matter. And since you are putting the responsibility on the player, you won't be stressed if they don't show up anyhow. Overall, it is easier to just let your players cook in the kitchen and do the admin stuff so you can run the game the best way you know how and with the best notes you have. Secondly, and more importantly, establish who is the boss at the table, aka let them know who is the quote-unquote leader, which is likely going to be you. I've been in hundreds of games as a GM and player, and there are some players that just should not be trusted. Some will deceive you, lie to you, and berate you. So to avoid this, keep the pressure on the players. Dismiss their wants, especially if they are not in line with the story you want to tell. It's not about them, it's about you. Example, a player one time wanted to buy a horse in one of my D&D games. They had the coin for it, and they were in a town that had a stable, so there were plenty of horses to go around. However, I did not want to give it to them. Why? Because they always had some excuse to get some extra item every time they wanted to go into town. Plus, I didn't really prepare anything for hex travel or overland travel in that Dungeons & Dragons game, so I kinda didn't want to prepare that. That's not the point. So, I made every excuse to not give them a horse and eventually just said no. So, the more important lesson is this. Dismiss your players' wants when it best suits. Be aggressive as needed and don't let your players dismiss you or treat you unpleasantly. Game Masters, it is your way or the highway. You should not be caught being a fool on any day, but especially this one, playing games with bratty and or obnoxious players. After all, why have combative players when you can be the main boss for your Dungeons & Dragons or tabletop role-playing game? In conclusion, don't take crap from your players. If your players want to go low, you as a GM go low. If the players want to go high, you go high. Player presents to you their character and it doesn't align with your vision, rip it up and berate them. It is your table, not theirs. Set those expectations and that combative nature from the very beginning, and you will be on your way to having players begging to play with you. And hey, if that doesn't happen, let me know down below in the comment section, or tell me why I'm wrong. I'm waiting to hear you. And if you like this video, feel free to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And let me know, have you ever dealt with annoying players? Or players, have you combated annoying GMs? Let me know down below in the comment section. Finally, special shout out to Patreon members Harrison Parker, Jakibi, and Paul Volpe for your continued support. You too can support me down below in my Patreon or Ko-fi. Just go check the description box. And as always, I'm your average everyday fool. Blurry disposition. Y'all have a funny day. Ciao. Huh. Apparently today's April 1st. Ironic.